What's up, y'all? This is Husein Nasser from iGeometry, where we discuss software engineering by example. And welcome to the I don't even know which episode is that. Welcome to another JavaScript ArcGIS API episode, where we basically learn this API by building a concrete real-life example. We've been doing more than 25 and 26 episodes, I think, just learning this beast and building an application, building a web viewer to be specifically. And then we reached a point where we need to clean up the code, right? And this is very natural process and development where you basically pick up where you left and clean up your code. You refactor the code, and I looked at the code, and we really need to do serious cleanup, right? So the way we were developing this, to quickly add code into this one big index.html. Let's open the code and show you what I mean here, right? Let's go ahead and open. Yeah, there you go. It's already open. That's good. Yeah, so everything is located in this index or ig.html code, right? And let's quickly run our code here with maps, JAWS API, and npm run start. Is that what we called it? Yeah, all right, we are live on port. We're using Express here, guys, so check it out. So http localhost and ig.html, just like that. That's our code. That's what we built so far. So there's a lot of functionality here, right? If you notice, so we built this table of content, we built these, we read the the services from ArcGIS Online, and then populated it here, and then we implemented changing the base maps and all this kind of fancy stuff, right? But it's time to clean up the code. We built like pages and table viewer, and it's generic, right? So you can technically point this code to your service and just magically works, right? Because we built it in a very generic manner. And I want to take some time to actually clean up this code by factoring some functions and put them in their different JS file, right? So I want to start doing that. So I'm expecting this episode will be really long. If you guys are not interested in watching this kind of content, you can skip to the next episode where we actually take a function and we implement that. But this is very critical. So what do you get if you watch this? Basically, you'll learn JavaScript. You'll see how we can refactor code, create classes, and move code around. So I recommend that you spend the time and invest in watching this and see how we can basically move code around to clean up this code. So because I bet that most of you guys have run into this problem, and I did, and I just did here, right, in this series. But while building a lot of apps in my life. Wait a second, do we have audio? Let's check if we have audio, sir. Let's check if we had audio. Cool, we do have audio. All right, guys, let's get to work here. So the first thing I want to do is look at all this code, right? So what I want to do is I want to move this portion, the table of content, into its own class. So think about that this way, where I want basically to create a table of content object, and then I give it where I want to render that, and pretty much that's it, right? That's the idea. I just want, instead of just going through all this code and reading how did I implement that? And some of you guys asked, hey, I really liked how do you develop this table of content, but I want to use it in my app and I don't know how to extract that particular code, and it's really challenging, right? So let's go ahead and try to implement that, right? Let's go ahead. First of all, I'd like to create a new JS file called talk.js, just like that, right? I'm gonna create a class in JavaScript here. So this will be my that will be my template for creating table of content. So let's go ahead and just create a class called talk, right? And then to initialize the class in JavaScript, we need constructor. So that's the first function that will get executed when you run the new talk. So let's go ahead and do that. And what do we need? So we might actually add we'll add more and more parameters here as we need, but the first thing that comes in mind here is actually the talk dev element, or the talk element, right? That's the actual element objects in that we pass, which is this baby, right? That dev, or whatever we called it, I'm not sure, right? So whether it's as a string or as an object, I have to think about this, but let's, for simplicity, let's just say I'm passing a string here, right? So that's the first thing we need to do, right? All right, and now I would imagine that if you create a new constructor and you give me that talk, synchronously I want to be able to build all that stuff, right? So let's go ahead and go let this dot talk element is equal talk element, right? So this will basically store this into the private member variable of this class that is called talk, right? So we need to make it capital, so that's just like convenience and standard. Cool. All right, so that's the first thing. Document.get element by ID, and just like that, we got the talk element. Nice. All right, let's read the code now. What do we have? Where do we build the talk, man? Build talk. Look at that function that's called build talk. I would think, look at that. So we're looking at the talk element here. We're getting that element and then we're clearing it. That makes sense, right? So this is on change of this, right? If I change the class, I want to clear that and then rebuild the talk element. So let's go ahead and steal this code here and put it somewhere else. So I'm gonna keep this function and then instead cut that and then paste it here. How about that, guys? All right, so this is not enough, obviously, right? Because talk element is the talk element here in this case. We made a mistake. So this is a string, so we send it that. So we're getting that element. We don't need this anymore. We can actually do this, right? Just to stay consistent. Right, so give me that talk element, get that element, get it, and then get that talk, clear it, and then for the layer list, we're creating an element. That's fine. As long as we're creating an element, this is in memory, so I think it's okay. We can create that element, and then we're gonna add it to the layer list as a layer list item. So that is okay as well. Populate layers recursive. We don't have this function. Can we steal this function, sir? Can we steal this function? So populate layer recursive, if you remember guys, this will give me the current layer, and then this layer, whatever that is, what I'm passing a layer object which I don't have. So this tells me that I need a layer object here somehow, right? Regardless, what is this layer? Yeah, definitely. The layer is basically the main layer that we're building on the service itself, right? Because we're building a map service, so we're getting that map service, and then we're passing that. So this is very critical. So that's another variable we're missing here. So let's go ahead and pass the map service layer. Cool, cool, cool. And that's the first thing we do, passing the map service layer. All right, so some people will say, hey, I don't have no idea how to create this, but we'll assume that the user know how to create a map layer, just like we did here. So it's always a baby step, guys, baby steps. So we add that layer, and then we say layer.then, and then when the layer is ready, we build the talk, and then we call here, and then basically we'll continue doing that work, right? We did not call that function yet, so we have some work to do at this class. But what do we want to do? We wanted to copy the populate layer recursive. So what this does is it takes that layer and then asks for its children, I believe, if I remember. So I wrote this code a long time ago, right? Yep, that's it. To just do exactly what we did here. So let's go ahead and cut and then paste it right here. In class, you don't need to say it's function because everything is a function in a class, right? Anything that you write is a function. So here we need to go through the code and make sure that we did not do bad things as reference global variables, which are really bad in modular programming. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Map service, that's cool. This layer, that's just a variable, that's a member variable, so that's cool. Input checklist, you're creating a checkbox. These are checkboxes. We're adding an event, and when this does basically toggle the visibility of the layer when you click that, this is basically this code, guys, right? Push, push, push. What else? Creating labels, showing that small stuff, beautiful stuff. Button, what does this view does? This actually views the table of content. Views the attribute table, which is, in my opinion, should be its own class. But let's take this slow. Let's take this very slow. Let's take this very slow, right? Let's just jam everything now in the table of content, and then we slightly do more and more refactoring. All right, guys. All right. Open attribute table. So we need to steal this function, guys. We need to steal this function. We need to steal it. All right. So all this looks good. We're looping through all that stuff. We're not depending, and then we're calling the same populate recursive, but we have to add this dot populate because I am in a class and I'm calling my member function. So we have to do dot, right? This is like a private function. Nobody sees it. So we are a little bit cleaner here, but how about that now, guys? Let's check if I'm actually can call this, right? So all I want to do is basically create a new talk class, which is this, right? And then I'm gonna pass it the layer, which I have, which is a global variable. Bad stuff. Basically, this is the current selected map service, which is this, right? Every time I change that, I get the current selected map service. All right. And the talk element, which is, I believe it was structure, and then everything happens in the constructor. So this is what we really need. that's it, I think. Open attribute table. Open attribute table. That's the only function that we need. Open attribute table. We need to steal that as well. Right? Oh man, look at that. We're gonna steal a lot of functions when you do that. Right? Now if I refresh that code, I'm believing that things will break. Right? Oh, sir, things did break. Things did break, and I think I have an idea why. What? Why there are no errors, man? I was really expecting some errors, sir. Right. Anyway, we really expected some errors, but basically, you will have to reference that puppy, right? You just added a talk.js, right? But you did not reference it. So if I am creating a new talk here, I'm gonna get an error because there is nothing called talk, right? There's no class called talk. How do we reference that? Very simple. Just like we reference other stuff, our other scripts here. Let's go ahead and just script source equal talk.js, and that should work because the talk.js is in the same it's in the same location. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, so it's in the same location, so it should be okay to reference that. Let's go ahead and refresh that. Ooh, bad stuff. So this is what we want. And you guys, I remember some of you guys asked me that, hey, keep those bugs. They like those bugs. You guys love those bugs. You love to see me struggle fixing those bugs, because guess what? Nothing is perfect, right? People, like, if you're watching a channel or if you're watching a YouTube video or watching a demo that everything is perfect, how do you learn if everything is just goes well and goes according to plan? You have to run into problems, you have to run into bugs and see them and learn them and then see how we fix them. This is, to me, this is the best opportunity, really. Alright, so now seriously, how can we fix this? So we're passing a talk element, which is a talk, and what do we do, man? I would start debugging, right? Black boxed. What? Why are you black boxing that guy, man? He's a nice guy. Why are you black boxing him? Why are you black boxing him? Look at that. Ooh, Mama Anita, where are you? Where are you? The script is black boxed, man. Black box him. See, I really expected that this will get called, right? Right? Okay, so something bad went there, man. Instrument rejected. Okay, I'm seeing something. I'm seeing something. I'm seeing something. Alright. Let's take a look. We have a constructor. That looks good. See, my mistake is I copied a lot of code at the same time. But I think we're good. I think we are good. So let's say alert created talk. Alert about to create talk. About to create talk. Then some bugging, and then the talk never got created. The talk never got created, sir. But why? But why? Is it because I don't have access to document? Is it because of that? Okay. It's called talking element string. Maybe he doesn't like that. JavaScript? JavaScript? Really? Let's go ahead, about to create, and then we just Dojo kicks in and says, hey, there's something I did not like, and then he basically complain. Alright, how about if I comment that out, right? Then try to take it really slow. Alright, let's continue. There must be something logical here, guys. So I'm sending a string. So we know that the problem is here, right? So what I would do is start commenting out code until I find what the problem is. Usually that's my way to go to learn anything, really, to find a problem or to debug. That's what I do, right? So I'm guessing that this is complaining because the document and the class doesn't have access to that, but I really doubt it, right? But never mind. So let's just go ahead and comment all the code until we basically see the alert created talk message, right? So that's just like an empty class. I'm expecting this will work. All right, that is all right. So we got that message, right? We got both messages. We got a debugger for some reason. I have no idea why I'm getting this error. All right, we do that. Looking good. So now let's slowly just uncomment lines, right? So this is like one way I debug here, guys. So they did not complain about this, so that's okay for it. He liked that, so we'll slowly start doing that work. It's just slowly. Nice, right? Looks like someone does not complain about that. Let's keep all of that. So we're appending a new element, and then we will basically check if that element got appended indeed. So you notice that the width of that this guy, hope you see my mouse, this guy, right? When I first refresh, it's like really thin, but after I create that, there is like it got fatter, right? And it got like an element inside. So if I inspect, and I see that talk, and then that's my list element that I just added, right? So things are working. So what is actually broken? So I bet this is what's broken. So something here got broke. So let's go read the code, guys. So this is okay. I'm assuming that this should work. This is like we don't have access to any global variables. We just take that layer that I passed, which is map service layer, and then passing it around. That should be okay. Click. Nice button. Open attributed. Did that really bother you? How about just remove that? Maybe the fact that he could not find that function bothers him, but alright, I'm up for it. I'll just uncomment that line. And then we keep doing that. Give me the sublayers, and then loop, and then call, populate that thing again, and then do that thing. Do your thing, man. Do your thing. Ooh, it died. It died. But why? Why, sir? We are really good people here. Why did you die? It's good this black box didn't bug. What did that mean? unblack box. I don't want to. Yeah, thank you. Why is this black boxing this stuff? Alright, now refresh. Hopefully it will not black box. Thank you very much, sir. I was black boxed. Who told you to black box me? Oh, I know. Genius. So populate layer recursive function does not exist because it's in the class. So you have to refer to it as this dot populate layer recursive, and we did this right here, guys. What's wrong with you guys? What's wrong with you? We talked about this. See? Cheers, buddy. That is amazing, but this won't work now. This won't work. All right, guys. We need to uncomment this and start bringing the money. Open attributes table. So we don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. Create a table of content. So theoretically, guys, you can in fact just I can get rid of this build talk function and just literally copy the code here, right? And I would be able to create a table of content. All you have to do is give it a talk, which is a div element, which is just a normal div element with an ID. Very simple stuff, right? This will get count and all that stuff, man. Let's see. All right, one down, two to go. Attribute table. Let's do the attribute table. Open attribute table. So this is like an event, right? Which basically does so much junk. There's so much junk here, man. So the code that we wrote for view attribute. So maybe it will work, but yeah, it works, but this is bad, you know. It only works because when we reference the talk.js in the ig.html, it just became the same scope, and when we attempt to open attribute table, it just finds that function. Yeah, I found that function, let me call it. So yeah, it works. But we want to clean up. We want to actually make the attribute table into its own thing. Right, guys? So what do we need? We ask ourselves a question. What do we need, right, to open an attribute table? What do we do to open an attribute table? It is a beautiful weather, guys. I wish I could show you. But yeah, I love cloudy weather. It's just beautiful. Some people like the sun. Not me, man. I hate the sun. Sorry, sun. I like you. But yeah, I hate you too. But yeah, I love cloudy weather. It just makes me more productive and talkative. And you can notice, right? I just like talk a lot when the weather is cloudy. This guy's getting insane. Sorry. All right, let's get to work. Open attribute table. I want to build a class called attribute table. And but the attribute table, you have to show me where do you want to put the pages and where do you want to put them attributes, right? Because everything will be generated for you here, right? It's not like it's like a very nice view here, but maybe look at that. Yeah, the attribute table will take some time, man. But you want to do it in another episode? Should I break this and make it, or just make it into one big episode? You know what? Let's just charge on, guys. I think let's charge on. All right, table of content. We did that work. Attribute table, on the other hand, look at that. So what we're doing here is first we're asking this layer by ID. And the reason we did this is we want to avoid global variables. So we store just the layer ID. You give me the layer ID and I'll take care of querying and finding the feature count in that, right? Because that's a very important piece of data, right? How to get the count of a certain layer features in a layer. But that's not enough, right? Just giving me the layer ID is not enough. Which service, right? Which service are you referring to? Right, that's the trick here. Because you take a layer ID. What am I doing here, man? What is the get count function? Get count function. Layer ID. See, I'm running a query, so I need the service. So get count technically should provide a service or the base service, right? What's your service, right? Give me that service. Give me that beautiful service. Now once you get the service, what you do is basically I'll stitch up this and I'll make the query, right? And that does that, return count only, and then all this beautiful stuff. Sexy, beautiful, nice. So yeah, take the query, request, query layer, query options, and yeah, we need to pass in the services. Like it's enough. We should not be hard coding this stuff, really. We should pass in at least. So this part is fixed, I know that, but this is not. This could change, right? So passing this could change, so you have to somehow predict that part and send me that URL, or if even better, send me the whole thing up until the layer ID, or send me just the map service, and I'll send me the layer ID and I'll build up this query. So it's really something we have to think about. Let's clean up this code. How many functions are calling this? One, pretty much one. That's not hard. So all we have to do is basically give me this part, really, right? That's what we need to predict. Just give me the service, map service URL, map service URL. Let's say map service URL sample looks like this. And then git count. That's the first thing we need to do. We need to clean up, guys. Refactor all that stuff. Let map service URL is equal that. And select the service as something globally set. Again, we need to think about it, right? But in general, you pass in this and that, and you should be all set. Okay, so get count, you pass me this, and you pass me a function, and I'll execute, I think, that function. I'll give you that value, which is the feature count. So I would have done this as a promise. Right, so we need to change this to a promise. I have no idea why I did it this way. Like when I started coding, I wasn't aware of promises. I wasn't really good, but it's like with time you should clean up your code and learning more. Nice, guys. Populate attribute table. What is one? Is this like which page you want to highlight? I think that's what it is. Okay, populate page 1, right? Yeah, I don't know how to call this an attribute table. Do we have access to the service from here? Huh, map service URL layer, that's the object, right? Can we get the URL from that? That's a very good question, sir. That's the current selected layer. Is there a URL? Thank you, sir. We found that. We found that. So open attribute table. If I send that, if I call that function, right, open attribute table, I have to somehow send in the layer ID, but it's really tricky, right? There's the layer ID in the button itself. We can put the button.layer URL, which is basically literally this layer .url, right? And now we have access to that through open attribute table function, right? Right. So this way, so this is how we got the layer. This will be how we will get the URL, basically. e.target.layer URL, right? And you are responsible to set that layer URL, right? So what this will give us is what? Up to the map service. So we're responsible to build the rest of the stuff. So we have all that. Oh man, we have all that stuff. We're good. Maybe just add that, right? Because it doesn't really return that last slash. And then we send in the what? The map service URL, the get count. Let's go back to the get count function here. And then, yeah, we don't even need the layer, do we? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. This will be map URL layer and then query. How about that, guys? We're cleaning up stuff. We're cleaning up shop, man. Cleaning up that code. So the reason I'm doing all that, guys, is because I want to make modules here. I want to make eventually widgets. I want to turn these into widgets. So these widgets have to be completely independent, right? Completely independent. And you have to basically learn how to write independent code, and we're cleaning up code, right? All right. I'm gonna stop in 10 minutes. I want to stop at 8 a.m. Yeah, we can always continue another episode. I know this episode is long, guys, but if you enjoy it, just type in the comment, guys. You like this stuff, keep doing it. If you really want this, if you want me to cut this or skip these kind of videos, I'll be glad to. It's just like I thought this might be beneficial to some of you guys, and some of you did tell me that you enjoy this kind of debugging and refactoring. So I'm doing that kind of code, and although it doesn't really have a lot to do with GIS, but I think it's a good practice just to go through all these kind of hoops here, guys. All right, get count. So we cleaned that up. The talk now. We are setting the URL in the talk. We're setting the layer ID. That's a very important piece. So now get count have these stuff. Now let's just refresh the code, and then hopefully this should just work. Okay, some things broke, some things didn't. So let's see. Okay, the pages looks like the pages got broke. What do we have, man? I don't see any errors. Why? All right. Remove that. All right, so the table of content is still working. The count or the pages did not. So let's take a look what happened here. Oh man, feature count. We're querying, and then this is just like the promise, right? Then if this, then do this, else do that. Right, just call in the feature count. Feature count is actually a function which passes the count of how many features. Else just pass in 0 because I did not find anything. So nice. Okay, what do we have here? Get count, map service layer. This is the function. give me the function, give me the feature count feature, and then populate layer ID. I think this is where broke. Populate pages. What do? You get a layer ID, you get the feature count. So why did that fail? Populate pages. Populate pages takes the feature count and then does some stuff, create all these stuff. So something failed here, and I think I might know the reason. We added another property here, get count. Did we actually? Yeah, we did that. All right. Let's debug. Some more debugging, guys. Where's get count? Where are you? All right. We have that with. We have. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Okay, so we already have the layer ID built here, and that's how though. Is this layer that URL literally gives the URL to that layer too? In that case, we do not need this, sir. I think we don't need that. We don't need to append the thingy. Yeah, that's just like that. Just like that, sir. Just like that. Does that work? Yes, sir. It worked. It worked. It worked. Look at that, man. This is pretty. This is so pretty. Better than what do we do, man? Get count and all that stuff. We need to take it to the next level, which is the actual other attribute table there. All right, so let's build a class called attribute table.js. Class attribute table constructor. Slowly, we're gonna clean things up, guys. Don't worry. We're gonna clean things up. We're gonna clean this up. We're gonna clean this up. Don't worry. We're gonna clean this up, guys. I swear, we're gonna clean this up. It's probably gonna be 2 episodes, man. Yeah, this is very long. I'm gonna break them up. Open attribute table. So this function so these functions we need to somehow create the object right here. So what do we need, man, for this? What do we need? Literally, what do we need? The layer ID. Do we really need the layer ID now that we have the layer? Or are we using the layer ID at all? Are we using it, man? We're not using it, so we can take that out. So just the map server layer ID. So this is not actually the map service URL, this is the layer URL. That's very important. This is the whole layer URL, map service layer URL. That's the whole thing. Okay. And then there's a function called getCount, which I want to clean up. Right. There is the populate pages, which obviously lives here in the table of content. So let's start with this. you will need map service URL, layer URL, right? That's the first thing you need. What else do you need? What else do you need, man? Layer ID, do we really need the populate pages layer ID? Are you using it at all? We took it and we're passing it to the layer ID to the population. And are you using it here? Are you using it here, sir? No, that's exact same thing, dude. We don't need it. Map layer URL map service layer URL. And just like that, we do not need all that garbage. How about that, guys? Cleaning up house. So do we need the layer ID? Layer ID. I want to go back, man. Where's that? So we don't really need the layer ID here. We really need the feature count, and I'll determine all that stuff, but we still need the map service layer ID just for consistency, right? We'll think about it. Let's just cut these codes now. Reset pages. Oh, I would think we need that. Button pages. Look at that, man. This stuff has to exist and not somewhere else. Ooh, Cody. Cut. Oh man, I'm gonna regret this. Look at that, sir. This should be. Can we just do this? I want to do this dot button pages, which is the array of pages. Reset pages. How do you reset the pages? Basically, it's very important. Populate pages. Just give me the feature count and I'll take care of it. Populate attribute. That is cool too. Alright, so you need this, right? That's the first thing we need. To build an attribute table for a given layer, you would need to give me the layer full URL, right? So an example of this is basically sample service. Give me steal code here. Yeah, just take not the GP. Yeah, something like that. So that's a sample. Lots of cleaning. This is just for each, changing reset, page count. We need the get count function. Definitely is a very important function. This will basically query and tell you how many features is in that layer as a total, right? Very important function. I'm debating to make it into a promise. I think I should. That looks good. We have that. And yeah, I don't think we need that, right, guys? Because since the moment we do this dot map service layer URL equal literally this guy, all we have to do is basically pass it in, because that's it, right? We have it everywhere, right? It's the beauty of classes, guys. And we don't need to pass anything here. We have to do this, and yeah, have to specify the page, that's for sure. good. Really doubt that this will work from the first let go, but yeah, I think it will work. I think it will work. Open attribute table, that's the tricky part. Open attribute table still lives here, but we need to take it out and then basically create the object. So let's go ahead and this is the preparation of that, right? Okay, so this is the constructor. I want you to have that, which is we already have that layer. So maybe we'll just append that extra slash, and then just like that, we have the map layer. Remove that. Git count, is the git count here? Yes, we don't need to pass this anymore. Git count C, feature count, populate pages, layer ID, and then pass in the feature count. I don't think I need the layer ID anymore. I don't think I need the layer ID anymore, but I do need the feature count, which I would think we also need to store as a member variable of this class. Right? I think we should do that. I think we should do that. It's very critical to do that. Populate pages, and then once you do that, just go ahead and populate pages. Pause that. Populate pages. That's wrong. So we have to do this. We got bitten. Remember, guys. This to the git count. Passing that. Request of that. I think we are good. Last thing is take that puppy, put it here. I don't even need that. That's interesting. Do I need to create a coupling between the attribute table and talk? So this could be like a discussion, but let's say we will have that coupling for now. But that would be interesting to solve. That would be an interesting problem to solve, in my opinion. So let's just go ahead and create that coupling. Let attribute table equal new attribute table. What do you need, man? You need the map service URL layer. Guess what? I have it here, right? It's literally E, right? Dot target dot, what did we call it? What did we call it? Layer URL. Where are we? I got lost. Layer URL. All right, just creating that object. We have that puppy, right? But it'll be really tricky. But let's see, right? Let's see. We still don't have. We're still relying on hard-coded stuff, which we need to change. But I think this will work. But we need to clean up, guys. Yup, of course it doesn't work. Oh, let's debug, guys. Let's debug. Let us debug. Let us debug. So when I clicked here, I gave you this. Let's go ahead and actually debug. Hey, where's my... Oh! We forgot to import the attribute table, guys. Script source is equal attribute table.js. Then you do this. This is to import that thing. And then what my idea is basically to have my idea is to have an option for the table of content to be like, oh, you can work without I don't want to include the attribute table on my table of content and something like that, right? Yeah, looking good. There is a bug here that's breaking my stuff. Attribute table. Yeah, this should be, I know, it should be this. The open attribute table. Then you. All right. Now do that. Do that. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. All right. Let's check out this. Boop. All right. We have the layer ID. Nice. Can you call in that, guys? Can you call in that? And then when you're ready, give me the count. Wow, we got the count. We want to call in the pages, but we got an error. Why? So we got the count. We attempt to call the populate pages with the new feature count, and then it died. Right? That's exactly what happened, right, guys? You noticed that, right? You noticed that, right? Populate pages. This, oh poppy. I know what happens because this now it's inside a function, so it thinks the scope or the closure is this function. Yeah, that's what I don't like about JavaScript. So let's clean that up. We need to convert this into a promise. A promise. Promise me that you will love me, guys. Promise me. Return your promise. I forgot how to do a promise. Resolve, reject, then do that. Then all you have to do is cut, paste. And you do that. What the hell, guys? Okay, chill, man. request.query layer.query options.then, and then all we have to do is basically get that right. That's weird. We can just return that, right? And then we deal with that. If we got this, then we basically resolve with that. Errors. I don't know what the hell is this. What is this comma? Doesn't make any sense. We have to do a catch. What am I doing here? Then do this. Dot catch. Freeze error. Then just, I don't care about the error really for now. Just return 0. Reject with a 0. Okay. Then what is this? We don't need this. Do we need this? I think we do. This is closing that puppy. This is, wait, yep, we need to close that, guys. Cool. All right. Now, oh, we don't need to do that, guys. Now we have to do is get count. Then we do dot, then if it's ready, if everything is okay, all we have to do is basically get the feature count, right, which is the count here, and and then we do all that beautiful stuff. Otherwise, we basically say error. Nice. Do I need that feature count? What is that? We don't need that, guys. Just C. That's just use C across the board, right? C, and if it's ready, just do that. Else do that, and let's get this to work. Is it working? Is anything happening, guys? Do you see anything working? Because I don't. Uh-oh, just like attribute table is not defined. What? How dare you? How dare you say it's not defined? How dare you say it's not defined? It's right there. Attribute table. First, let's fix this. Yeah, that's because this is bad. Yeah, there's like an extra. So we call this, we get the promise back, get the count, and get count will basically get that count. That's wrong. Yeah, look at that. That's bad. Uh-oh. Forgot to make an arrow function here. Button pages is not defined. Of course. Why, sir? Button pages. Crap. This dot button pages. Where's all them button pages? Button pages. This dot button pages because it's in this class. Everything is this. This button pages. This button pages. All right. Now I see, sir, that you are cool with this now. Oh, shoot. Okay, at least the first query is okay. Alright, guys. Alright. We're doing this. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. We're gonna nail this. We're gonna nail this. We're gonna nail this. Okay, what are we missing? What are we missing? So everything is okay, right? Reset pages is not defined. That is not hard. Why is reset pages is not defined, sir? That's because you did not call it with a this. Oh, now it's gonna be fine. Look at this. Look at this, sir. Alright, guys, so we're getting an error here, right? So this does reset pages is not a function. And the reason is that the context of this here is actually this function. And this function does not have a function called reset pages. So one way to solve this is actually declaring a variable here in this loop, or maybe even slightly outside for performance reasons. So it's just so we don't get the garbage collector to clean up and do that a lot of times. So let's just do that here. So for example, just say instance equal this, and this in this case will be the object, right? Let's call this attribute table instance, right? And then we'll basically call this puppy. Oh, that's a long name. That's a long name. Let's try this out. Let's see if that works, guys. And just like that, if that worked, it worked. It worked, guys. It worked. This is beautiful, guys. This is beautiful work. All right, so I think, guys, I'm gonna stop here. This is a good stopping point. It turned out into a very long episode. I think an hour or so, but I think it's a good hour. We learned a lot. I learned a lot just cleaning up the code. I think we can do more cleanup. I think we can do more refactoring here, but we're gonna do it in the next episode. Guys, do me a favor, if you really like this content or you want to see something like that, longer episode, just write in the comment, hey, I don't like long content, make them 10 minutes or so, or yeah, we love that stuff. So this is just will give me some sort of an indication to which direction I can take these series. All right, so whether you like the long content or short content, let me know. This really means a lot to me, guys. If you thank you all for your comments and your heartfelt sincere comments, really. Thank you very much, guys. Like this video if you like it. I'm gonna see you in the next one. You guys stay awesome. Goodbye.